Welcome to Monaco, one of the most historic races in this season's calendar. The Monte Carlo street circuit provides both excitement and drama due to the close proximity of the barriers. There aren't many opportunities for overtaking here, so determining a good car setup is absolutely paramount. Monaco provides a close quarters wheel-to-wheel challenge for the drivers, and even though it lacks overtaking opportunities, it does give us the glitz and the glamour that can only be provided by a location like Monte Carlo.
Monaco is the most prestigious track on the Formula One calendar. It's a circuit that's extremely popular amongst the fans around the world, and it's something really special. As a driver, there's nowhere to hide.
Lowe's hairpin is the slowest corner of any track on the Formula One calendar. It's taken at just 48 kilometers an hour, but provides a stunning view on the first lap as the entire grid bunges up and tiptoes through the corner, hoping not to leave any carbon fibre parts behind.
This is such a tight bend that a special steering rack is used just to get around this very corner, as the cars would not normally be able to make the turn. There is the possibility of overtaking through Lowe's, but more often than not, you'll end up damaging your car.
Hello and welcome back to my F1 2014 career mode on the 2015 game, driving as Daniil Kvyat in his Toro Rosso. We are here in Monte Carlo, the street circuit which every driver wants to win. Some of them may play it down a little bit, but realistically, every driver would love to win at this circuit. It is the jewel on the F1 calendar. It's a track which is really tight, and qualifying is the most important thing here. So getting a good qualifying in the one-shot qualifying session coming up will determine where we come in the race. Last time out in Spain, if you haven't already watched it, I suggest go ahead and watch it. Pause this video, go watch it. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Okay, so last time out in Spain, we came 7th after just losing out to Kimi Raikkonen second to last lap. So it was a pretty good race. Unfortunate to have a couple of mistakes with Alonso and Raikkonen. However, we've cut ahead to Monaco now. We are optimistic about our results, so we're hoping to get a good result here. Nothing really happened in practice, just got held up by a couple of drivers, so I couldn't really get the best time out. That's why one-shot qualifying will really help, because no one can get in our way. So without any further ado, let's go over to the practice result.
That's practice over and a successful session for Lewis Hamilton. He's bound to be pleased with the car's performance today.
So as you can see, Lewis Hamilton tops the timesheets in the first practice session, well, the only practice session in Monaco, with Sebastian Vettel coming third. We're all the way, no, it means second, but we're all the way down in 15th, setting our time on the primes, getting a 1:23, getting held up quite a bit there. John O'Byrne in 11th. And without any further ado, let's go to one-shot qualifying and see what we can do over there.
We're here in magical Monaco for this afternoon's qualifying session, which will be getting underway shortly. Qualifying will determine who'll sit on pole at this iconic track. These next few minutes could determine tomorrow's race result as well, before it even starts. The driver on pole will be best placed to win the race, considering how difficult it is to overtake here.
Exactly. To be in with a decent chance of winning here, you need to be on the front row. Even a few places further back on the grid, and you've got to rely on a bit of good luck to come your way, as overtaking opportunities are very limited.
So here we go, one-shot qualifying, the most important part of this race weekend, because it will determine where we come in the race if we don't have any crashes and if we can hold position, because in this track you just got to make your car as wide as possible. So let's head over and have a look at the lap. Here we go. So coming across the start-finish line now, and away we go, going into the first corner. And we are into P1 at the moment, so that's a pretty good first corner there. As I believe the Mercedes will get past now because they have the straight line speed on us. No, they don't. We're going around this corner. Still in first position. Going around, I believe that's called Casino. I'm not 100% sure. Coming down towards the Lowe's hairpin now. Just banging the barrier there. They'll come through the Lowe's hairpin. The slowest corner on the F1 calendar. But now we're now down to P3. So we've lost some positions there. Might be because we touched the wall with our back right tyre. As we clip the wall there, get very close to it, don't touch it though. Going through the tunnel now in P3 as we come out the tunnel down in towards the Nouvelle chicane, up into P3 still, and right behind Lewis Hamilton. They're going to probably get better drive, yes they do, through the left-hander, now coming up to the swimming pool section, the left and then the right. bang the wall there, go into second gear, then the right, then the left, as we get a better drive through that. Maybe cut it a little bit, but all 4 tyres were, I mean, only 2 tyres were over the white line as we're into P3, going around the last corner, get the DRS open, we're staying in P3. Will that be our qualifying position? Yes, it will. What an absolute fantastic qualifying that was. Daniil Kvyat will be ecstatic with that result.
What a session it's been for Mercedes today. They've locked the front row of the grid for tomorrow's race.
They've really worked hard this weekend, and it seems they've been able to set up the cars perfectly today. Whether this will translate into race pace tomorrow, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
So Lewis Hamilton beats his teammate Nico Rosberg by 1/10 of a second, and we are third with only 3 tenths behind Lewis Hamilton. So that's an absolute fantastic result, because if you look at Valtteri Bottas in 4th, he's over a second behind. So what a result there to get that gap onto 4th. Having a look down the standings, Sebastian Vettel in 5th, Daniel Ricciardo 6th, Felipe Massa 7th, Fernando Alonso 8th, Kimi Raikkonen 9th, Jensen Button 10th, down in 13th is our teammate, 3 seconds, well nearly 4 seconds off the pace of Lewis Hamilton. So what great speed we had on him. And without any further ado, let's go over to the race.
It's race day here in Monaco, and a circuit that requires real driver skill as well as concentration. Last night, the Monte Carlo streets were full of revellers. Today, they're cleared and ready for racing. We knew this was a track that suited the Mercedes well, but no one would have expected that Lewis Hamilton would have created such a gap to his rivals in qualifying. If he stays out of trouble and the car continues to perform, well, victory should surely be a formality.
He's definitely going to be difficult to beat today, but anything can happen, so we'll have to keep a close eye on how this unfolds over the course of the race.
After a stellar performance in qualifying yesterday, Daniil Kvyat must be dreaming of his first ever podium here today.
The young Russian has shown some great maturity already in his time in Formula 1. He has the genuine speed to put that car on the podium today if he gets a bit of luck and keeps out of trouble.
So there we go, David Croft and Anthony Davison saying that we could get a podium finish today. Let's look at the race strategy. Starting on the options and pitting on about lap 9-10. A 20 lap race and taking about 26 minutes as we start the race. Now putting down to neutral accidentally. And now back up into first because we don't want to start neutral because we won't go anywhere. 5 lights and away we go for the Monte Carlo Grand Prix as we get an alright start, but Valtteri Bottas goes ahead of us. Going around the first corner as we manage to get him. The Mercedes are fighting ahead of us. Will we be able to get one of those into the next corner as we've got past Valtteri Bottas now? He's not side by side, which is good. So we're going to look around the outside of Lewis Hamilton. No, we just tuck back in. Maybe get better drive off this corner. Not really. Will we have a look up the inside though? Yes, we do. Forcing Lewis Hamilton wide. We lock up a little bit, but he's still on our outside. He gets the inside of the Lowe's hairpin, which will guarantee his position because there is no way through there. And as we go through the Lowe's hairpin, we just drop off a little bit just to regain track position because we were a bit wide, so we needed to come back into the middle. As we go through the tunnel now, still following Lewis Hamilton with Valtteri Bottas right behind us now, but he won't be able to make a move. As we go through the Novo hairpin, no, the Novo chicane, sorry. As there's been a yellow flag, was that maybe through the Novo chicane? I'm not too sure. Coming through the swimming pool section now as we're getting really just fighting the wheel as we go under the brakes towards the second part of the swimming pool. As we go through Raskas now, drop it down to first. Still behind Lewis Hamilton, but he is increasing his gap to us as Nico Rosberg has just shot off away from him. As we have a look at Nico Rosberg's start now. So he gets a better start than Lewis. Going round the outside of the first corner. They go wheel to wheel. Nico Rosberg throws up the hand, but it didn't look like they touched too much. And he just goes into the lead, maybe squeezes Lewis Hamilton out a bit too much on that barrier, but he just shoots up into the lead. As we have a look on board Valtteri Bottas now, as he goes for the overtake on us, he gets a much better start than us. He tries to go around the outside, but he just gives us way too much room, sacrifices his line, and just gives us the place really. So now we have a look at that on board from Sebastian Vettel. Let's have a look. So Valtteri Bottas he just goes way too wide, and Sebastian Vettel nearly gets the position and also nearly takes out Valtteri Bottas. As we look at Valtteri Bottas' teammate, Felipe Massa going up the inside of Daniil Ricciardo now. Will he make that move stick? Looks like he's still side by side as we go on board with Daniil Ricciardo as they're going up towards turn 2. Yeah, I believe this is turn 2. Daniil Ricciardo still behind Felipe Massa, but he's coming on the inside as Felipe Massa will get the inside of this next corner. Yes, he does. There he goes. He's got the position back to Daniil Ricciardo now. Will he be able to go round the outside of this corner? It'll be very tough for him as he's still wheel to wheel with Felipe Massa. He'll go down the inside of the Lovo hairpin. And he was going to make that move stick as Felipe Massa hits the wall there. But that doesn't look like he's damaged his car. What is he doing? Now I believe that's Raikkonen that's just gone past. As Fernando Alonso goes past, I think that is now. Button gets through, Magnussen gets through, and so does Hulkenberg. So it's going to be Perez who's going to try and get through past Felipe Massa. He's definitely got a problem. He's just letting people through, and he's hit the wall again. As Esteban Gutierrez will now go round at the outside of the Nova chicane. As Felipe Massa hits the wall again there. And he's holding up Jules Bianchi now. Will he be able to go round for the move on this corner? No, Massa actually hits the wall and allows Jules Bianchi just go straight into the back of him, losing his front wing. As we cut back to ourselves on lap 4. Valtteri Bottas going round the outside of the first corner. Can he make the move stick? No, we just were much later on the brakes and just fly around on the inside of that corner. That's enough. That's just a great move there to go round on the first corner of Valtteri Bottas. As we skip ahead to lap 9, it's pit stop time. Let's have a look at the pit stop time that we get. There's Lewis Hamilton coming out of the pits now. I believe that both Red Bulls and the Ferraris pitted at the same time, so they double stacked. So that really sacrificed the second driver coming in, which also allowed us to stay in P3 because everyone else behind us pitted. I don't think anyone went for the overcut. Everyone went on exactly the same lap. So we're still in P3 at the moment. It's lap 10. We've got 10 laps to go. As we just hit the wall there on the exit. There was no reason to do that, but maybe just caught napping coming out of the pit lane. As we've got Sebastian Vettel behind us now, going around on very cold tyres. That's why we're going wide a little bit. We just need to compromise for that. Brake a little bit later. Like that. There we go. Just going a lot slower into the corners, but just trying to build up temperature into the tyres. So Sebastian Vettel is behind us on track at the moment. Coming up to the tunnel now on lap 10. Just getting temperature into the tyres there as we cut ahead to lap 18. So 2 laps left of the Grand Prix as we're coming up to a lap car, Marcus Ericsson. Will we have the same problem that we did in the last race where the blue flags, they just didn't let us... I think Ericsson's letting us pass. Yes, he does. Vettel gets past. So does Massa. Oh, that was very close. So, sorry, Bottas got very close there as Raikkonen goes up the inside. Their Button goes through and Daniil Ricciardo just gets held up. And Ericsson just drives straight into the wall there. He just drives himself out of the Grand Prix. Let's have a look at a replay from Marcus Ericsson's point of view. So we're going to go past now. There we go. There goes Sebastian Vettel. There goes Valtteri Bottas. Kimi Raikkonen will go up the inside right now. There goes side by side. There he is. Then Button goes through. Now he's holding up Daniil Ricciardo. And he just goes to let Daniil Ricciardo through. Just takes himself out of the Grand Prix. So lap 19, last lap of the race as we come across the line. There we go, lap 20, last lap of the race. The fuel light is flashing, but I believe we're okay. We're on optimal at the moment. Putting it down into lean just in case. Going around the left-hander, then into the tricky right-hander. Then this part is very bumpy on the track. If you put like just there and we smash into the wall, just as I was saying, if you put your throttle down too early, you'll go straight into the wall there. We've got Sebastian Vettel right on our outside. He's now going for a look up the inside of the low voltage chicane, and we actually touch. We touch. Sebastian Vettel looked like he span around in the background, and there's a yellow flag. But it doesn't look like a penalty to us. It just looks like it could have been a racing incident. Maybe Sebastian Vettel just getting too hot. Let's have a look at it on the replay. So we go wide, hit into the wall there. Sebastian Vettel goes round the outside. Doesn't make the move there because he's just not late enough on the brakes. Goes late on the brakes up the inside, and he just taps out rear wheel and then gets spun around by Valtteri Bottas. So let's have a look at that again. So here we go. Going around the right-hander. We lose the back end, slam into the wall. Sebastian Vettel goes round the outside. Now have a look at Valtteri Bottas' point of view. Yeah, so he tries to go for a move. And then Vettel hits into us. Valtteri Bottas just like, get out of the way. And then that's the end of that. That's put Vettel, I believe, down into probably like 6th. We've got Valtteri Bottas behind us now as we go through the tunnel. Coming up to the Novo chicane. Just trying to keep it behind us now. He is a little bit behind us, but we're on lean. Well, we've just put up to standard now. Nico Rosberg has won this Monaco Grand Prix like he did in the real-life 2014 season. I believe Lewis Hamilton has come second. Yeah, he's just crossing the line now. As we're going round Raskas. One more corner to compete with. And we've got our first podium of the season. We're going to run down to the line. Will Valtteri Bottas going to go for a move? No, he's just too far back as we're going to cross the line for our first podium in F1 2015. What an absolute brilliant race. There he is, Daniil Kvyat collecting his trophy.
Another great drive from Nico Rosberg sees the German bring his Mercedes home in first place to claim yet another win.
It really was a wonderful performance, and one that the team will be celebrating for some time to come.
It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though, goodbye.
So there we go. Nico Rosberg wins the Grand Prix, which will definitely help him catch up to his rival in the World Championship, Lewis Hamilton. He comes second. We get our first ever podium in F1, coming home in third with Valtteri Bottas just behind us. Jenson Button finishes in fifth, Fernando Alonso sixth, and Kimi Räikkönen seventh. Sebastian Vettel finishes down in eighth after getting a time penalty, maybe for hitting us, I'm not too sure. I don't know what Daniel Ricciardo got. Nico Hülkenberg finishes the top 10 with John O'Byrne just missing out in 11th. Let's go have a look at the drivers' standings. So there we go. Lewis Hamilton leads the drivers' standings at the moment. We're down in 9th, which is exactly where our team wants us to be, on 31 points now after that podium. We're 81 points behind Lewis Hamilton, but obviously we're not challenging for the lead. Thank you very much for watching. This has been an absolutely fantastic race. If you want to go check out the other 2014 season races, there's a playlist on my channel. Go check that out. Subscribe for more F1 content and leave a like if you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for watching and have a brilliant day. Goodbye.